Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing some peekaboo color. And what that basically is just a hidden piece of color. There is no one technique or no one sole placement that fits under that umbrella. There are many different techniques you can use under the term peekaboo color. But today, the placement that I chose and decide to do is basically just a line, or I should say like a thick slice from ear to ear. And I love that placement. It's cute. It gives a nice fun splash of color in the front of the hairline. Only the thing is that sometimes if you do it too thick, it doesn't read as peekaboo anymore. So you have to just be really selective with how thin or thick you choose to go with that slice. And of course, the thinner, the more, I feel like the more impact it kind of has, and more of the term peekaboo. I think it applies to that. So that's what we're doing today. And we're also going to be changing my client today, and her name is Stephanie. We're going to be changing her base color as well. I'm going to make it like a rich kind of plum like color. I want to say plum. It's kind of like a red violet. That's more of the word. It's like a red violet. And then her peekaboo color is going to be like a burnt orange kind of color. So it's going to be really fun for fall. And yeah, that's what we're doing today. So being that Stephanie's hair color is naturally dark, I'm going to lift her base a little bit so that her desired hair color will show up a little brighter. If I were to just apply the hair color directly to her natural color, it would show up more as a burgundy than a true red violet. And that's simply because of her base color being dark. Now the ends, however, they would show up pretty light, but we want it all to kind of have a nice even canvas. So I'm going to lighten up her base to match the ends of her hair so that it all will read the same hair color in the end. Now we are in the peekaboo section, and instead of just applying the lightener to the whole entire section at one time, I really needed to lift very even, and I don't want any spots on her hair because that's not what she wants. She didn't want spotty color. Now if that's what she wanted, then fine, but it needed to be very precise. So I'm going to split that up into subsections so I can apply the lightener evenly and saturate each strand of her hair, which is very essential for curlier hair textures, and because it's more porous, so therefore it's going to eat up more product. So if it's eating up more product, that means that saturation is key. In order to saturate, you need to be able to work through that section. So if you're struggling with lifting curly, porous hair, try splitting it up into thinner subsections. That'll help you with application. It'll also cut your application time in half too, and you'll be also able to work more efficiently. So now it's time to check her color, and as you can see, the subsections worked, and you see the lift is nice and even from root to tip. I mean, it's nice and yellow, and that's exactly what we need for the deposit color that's going to go on top when we tone it. It's going to show up just so pretty and even and bright. So that's why I always suggest just taking your time and working through your sections. You know, you should never be in a rush when it comes to hair color. It simply takes time, and so I try to break it up in ways that's going to make my job easier in the end, so I don't have to come back and do any type of corrections. I also wanted to mention that Stephanie traveled a little ways to come for this hair appointment, and like I always say all the time, I do have quite a few clients that do travel, but they mean just as much to me as my ones that come regularly, because like when somebody decides they want to take a flight or take a road trip to come see you, like that says a lot, and it speaks to how they feel about your work. So it always blesses me, and I'm always really, really appreciative of that. I never really expect it ever, honestly, but when it does happen, I'm like, you got on that road, like, oh my God, give me a hug. Like, are you hungry? I know you might be tired. It's nothing short of a blessing. So I really do appreciate my clients. And for those that have been asking, I am not accepting any more new clients, but I am always accepting models for filming. So if you want your hair done, or you want to be a potential candidate, there's a form in the description box that says be a hair model. Complete that form, shoot your shot, and complete it. And if you're selected, hey, we can go from there, and I'll film your transformation. So now I'm just going ahead and working that red violet in, because I do not want any hot spots showing in her hair. I want to make sure we got every square inch of her hair covered, and that'll also make it process a lot better too. We want everything to process nice and even. We don't want anything to be darker or lighter in comparison to one another. We want a nice even canvas. So we're going to apply her peekaboo color last, and instead of using a cream like I did for the base color, for the peekaboo color I'm going to be using like a gel, like demi color, and I use that so it'll be easier to work it through. I didn't want to disrupt the other hair color from processing, and I didn't want to have to be too careful. So that allowed me, by using the gel, that just pretty much allowed me to just kind of be a little bit more relaxed with my application. So now it's time to press her hair out, and I'm using low heat. I'm pressing Stephanie's hair out on 410. I always like to start low, and then if I need to use a little bit more heat, then I'll just gradually increase it from then on, because sometimes heat damage occurs by using too much heat, too high, and some people just don't know that their hair can press out just fine on lower temperatures if you've never tried it. So with good technique and a really good blow dry, and also using heat protectant, because I stand by that, most times you can achieve really silky hair with low heat. And low heat also means, little to no damage. So that's a tip, save that, put that in your arsenal. Try using your heat on low first, and then gradually just kind of bump it up if it's not getting straight enough. So now it's time to cut her ends, of course. And we're not really doing like a haircut per se. It's really more of a trim because Stephanie didn't come with any damaged hair, I should say. You know, she needed a trim in general, but I didn't really have to do much correcting. It was just time in general for a trim. So anytime I do hair color, I always suggest get a trim or get a haircut. They go hand in hand. Your color reads totally different when you trim it and or cut it. You know, it builds the structure. So of course she said, hey, go ahead and do whatever I need to do. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna go through and just clean those ends up. And it really did help her overall style really come to life. So, you know, if you're afraid of the scissors or the shears, don't be. They are your friend. Of course, you know, there's a such thing as scissor happy. I do agree. But, you know, essentially the shears are our friend, and they can it really promotes hair growth. It really does. So for Stephanie's style, we're going to do some tassel beach waves. And I'm basically just achieving that by using my my barrel iron. And I'm just going to take those sections, and there's really no particular order. I'm just taking them and placing them in any and every which type of way. You know, the more unorganized, the better in this case, because it really gives a more lived in look. So that's what we did, and her hair came out so pretty. She got that pop of peekaboo that she wanted, and it was just enough for her. So, and it was also very low maintenance too for her to overall keep up. So that is it, you guys. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And you know, there are so many other videos that you can watch now, so I will leave that in the description box as well if you want to view some of my other videos. And yeah, I will see y'all next time.